Father's Day can bring up a lot of mixed feelings when you're grieving. Whether your father has died or you're no longer in contact because you're estranged, or if he's no longer the father figure that you knew because of dementia or illness. Hi, I'm Charlene Lam. I'm a certified grief coach and the curator of the Grief Gallery. In the lead up to Father's Day, I want to share a couple of things with you to help you cope or even celebrate. 1. Permission. If you need it, I want to give you permission to feel however you feel. Whether you feel angry or sad or numb, resentful, jealous, it's all normal. Feel what you're going to feel. I also want to give you permission to do what feels right for you. You can decide how much you want to participate in Father's Day, whether that really is just coping and getting through it, or whether that looks like celebrating. 2. Let's look at the expectations. What expectations are there around Father's Day? These expectations can come from messages on social media or in popular culture. They can be expectations from the outside, marketing messages, things that people share. And do you have expectations that come from you? Are there expectations about what you thought Father's Day would look like? And is there a disconnect there? Do you have thoughts about what you should be feeling or what you should be doing? Are some of those expectations coming from other people in your life, like family members? Or are there expectations coming from other people, like coworkers? Listen for the should. Should I be doing something differently? I find with my clients that a lot of the conflict, a lot of the additional suffering and pain that comes after loss is from a mismatch in expectations. If you're getting a message that says Father's Day should look like this, and yours doesn't, there can be pain from that mismatch. What if you're getting that message that Father's Day should look a certain way, and it's a reminder that your relationship with your father does not look like that? That mismatch in expectations can be very painful and can be a source of conflict. So ask yourself, what are the expectations there? And reminder, you have permission to do it your way, not necessarily according to expectations. 3. Acknowledging what is versus what should be. What should be, what was, what should have been. If we have lost someone significant to us, whether it's to a death-related loss or to dementia or to illness or to estrangement, of course it's going to hurt. When we're really attached to someone and they die or are otherwise not in our lives in the way that we used to have them, that hurts. There is inherent pain in that loss. And we can sometimes add to that pain by trying to focus on what should be instead of what is. For example, for many clients, some of the most painful moments come from wrestling with the reality that their loved ones are actually gone. What do you mean I'm not going to see him in person again? What do you mean my father is not going to be there when I get married? What do you mean he's not coming back? Why doesn't he get to enjoy his retirement as he planned? It's not fair. It shouldn't be this way. And if you're estranged from your parent, or if your parent is ill, some of the questions might be, why didn't I get the father figure that I wanted? Why didn't my father care for me in the way that I needed? Why do other people get to have a happy, intact family? How can it be that my dad doesn't remember me? It's not fair. It shouldn't be this way. A lot of that is a very normal part of grieving. And I also notice it's also part of what's the most painful. Resisting the reality of what is versus what I think things should look like, or what my brain thinks things should look like, or what other people think things should look like. So consider that. Acknowledging what is and grieving those losses versus focusing on what should be. 4, the unique nature of your relationship with your father or father figure. For Father's Day or any significant occasion, consider what is unique to you and your relationship with your loved one. Your father or your father figure, he was unique. And the relationship that you had with him is different than the relationship that other people had with him. So acknowledging and honoring the relationship that you actually had with your father figure or your father. And that means acknowledging, well, okay, maybe it wasn't the easiest relationship. Maybe it was pretty complicated. Maybe there's guilt, regret, and resentment there. You don't have to pretend that there were no cons, no conflicts. You don't have to pretend that your father was the best dad ever in order for you to acknowledge and honor who he was. And to even celebrate Father's Day if you want to. You can celebrate by acknowledging what was unique, what is unique to you and your relationship with the person. And part of that unique acknowledgement is considering what kind of support you want. Do you want to be in community? Do you want to be around family? Do you want to be active in doing something around other people? Great. Do you prefer to be in solitude? Do you prefer to be alone with you and your thoughts? Also great. Do you want to be totally distracted, doing something else? That's fine too. Identifying what kind of support you want is part of acknowledging what is unique to you in your grief and in your relationship with your father figure. And that brings me to point 5, one of my favorite concepts, OPP. It stands for other people's processes. Because what if Father's Day is not just something that you get to decide on? Maybe there are other people involved. Maybe there are siblings, other family members. Maybe you yourself are a parent and are expected by children or by other people in the family to acknowledge Father's Day in some way. Remember how I said that your relationship with your father figure is unique? Well, other people's relationships with that person were also unique. They might have had a very different dynamic than you did with your father figure. So part of this process of grieving is finding compassion for ourselves and also accessing compassion for other people. They might be experiencing the loss of the person in a very different way than you. And they might be expressing their grief in a very different way than you are. So communicate. Communicate what you're experiencing. Be willing to hear what they're experiencing. And let's bring that back to expectations. Communicate what expectations you have for Father's Day and why. Listen to what expectations they might have for Father's Day and why. Ask yourself, what do you feel up to, and share that. Ask them what they feel up to and listen. Not hiding these expectations, sharing these experiences. Those can be ways to really dissolve some of that conflict, all those hidden expectations and hurt feelings that can come about when we don't communicate. So those are 5 things that I would like you to consider as you're heading into Father's Day, as you're deciding how you want to handle it. You get to decide how you want to cope and just get through the day and be with the feelings that come up. Or you get to decide, like, you know what, I want to try to celebrate. If you do decide you want to celebrate, I've got some suggestions for ways to create rituals or meaningful ceremonies or experiences that are unique to you and to your relationship with your father figure, the person who died or that you've lost. So I'll go ahead and put the link for the resources in the comments, and I'm wishing you the best for getting through Father's Day in whatever way feels most supportive to you. Take care.